Yeah, I mean, there's others, but we're one of one. You know we gotta do it. Flux, let's get it. Yeah, I feel like a Titan node. FTX exposed. Flux is what I hold. So I stay composed. I feel like a Titan node. FTX exposed. Flux is what I hold. So I stay composed. Flux, we are the army and we gonna get it. So we keep on grinding, keep on winning. GPUs they mining, yeah they spinning. To the moon, we going with it. Flux is the army and Flux is the team. Flux what you say if you hating on me. Web 3.0, we lead the regime. You know we do it for free. Decentralized, you can't own me. I'ma keep winning like I'm on the street. I'ma keep winning cause I cannot sleep. I'ma keep winning cause that's what we need. We got Web 3.0 and it's us. Proof of useful work and it's us. No, we cannot lose, yeah we are. 15,000, no, that's how we rock. I feel like a Titan node. FTX exposed. Flux is what I hold. So I stay composed. I feel like a Titan node. FTX exposed. Flux is what I hold. So I stay composed. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Ooh, let's get it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm over here going like this, dancing. God, another good one from Limitless, Titan Node. So check it out.
That's a great song. It's like,
I know that if that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what will. Like I'm still drinking my coffee, but that's got me jazzed. Like,
yeah, I just asked the missus to bring me some new coffee.
I got an exclusive like Flux playlist now in the car. So like I got Don't Be Evil Again, which is still my favorite too, by the way.
Yeah.
Then I got the What the Flux is going on, and then
Actually, I like What the Flux is more like perfect.
Personally. I like the Don't Be Evil. I like the Don't Be Evil. But you know the funny part is it doesn't seem like that's been around. But when he sings when he's rapping in there, he talks about our 2,500 nodes. Maybe mildly dated.
It's like a history he's creating, right? Because this song that we just played, it's going about FTX and how it all explodes, and meanwhile we're just trucking along.
You know, I like how they do this because it kind of does give you like a history, like an audio history of the project. You know what I mean? You go back to the original was I got the Flux. I got the Flux. Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the original one. It's got Lambos and all that stupid shit on it. And
that was the hype back then, right?
That was
When Lambo,
right? Lambos are overrated too. If you've ever tried to get in and out of a Lambo, there's absolutely nothing about those cars that's amazing.
I was in Calgary last week, and my hotel was right next to a Lamborghini shop. I had Lamborghinis on the right, and I had Ferraris on the left. Now, I don't think I was in some very exclusive hotel. I was in a Holiday Inn. But like every morning, I had to walk past it, and every evening I came back. I'm like, one day.
Kind of weird though. He's staying at a Holiday Inn. Maybe he made some piss poor life choices and bought the Lambo instead of investing in Flux. So sorry.
Are you already jabbing at me? We're like 5 minutes in.
Well, I'm just saying you made the right choice. You kept your Flux. You didn't put it in a Lambo, right? So why get rid of the golden goose, right? So. Everybody out there that's listening, thank you guys and gals for jumping on today. We really do appreciate it. I know there was a little confusion about the AMA today. We were going to do the auction for the number one. Oh, before we get going, please, there's 50 some people in here right now. Let's get it up to 500. Stop what you're doing right now. This is a direct order. Stop what you're doing. Go to Twitter, reshare it, like and share. Make sure that you get as many people in here as humanly possible. So, but we were going to do the auction today, and then Davey all of a sudden decides that he's going to crap all over that, and he comes in and he says, "Hey, I think I got a way to figured out to run it on Flux." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm listening." So what, Davey? I'm not going to steal your thunder. I would like you to give them just a snapshot of what you've done over the past 2 days and why it's so cool.
Well, so you guys know we're working in WordPress, right? I released my blog the other day, simply jeffkey.blog. You can just follow along there if you want. And then at the same time, I'm like, and we're working towards the AMA this week, and I'm like, could I? Should I? And I kind of did. So I started playing with it with a untested version of WordPress. So that's on me. I should know better than to go ahead and try. Sorry, Ali, I know you've been working hard on WordPress, and I kind of stole his thunder there by trying to get it all running on the version we had. It was running. It was perfectly fine. And then I started playing with the WordPress in the back and kind of broke it.
Always the famous last words. It was running fine 5 minutes ago, but then I did 15 plugins, right?
And then I started adding plugins, and I didn't take into account that I didn't scale it properly, and then
that's my chief business officer right there. So just so you're aware.
Yep.
Hey, but you know what, Davey? If you're not breaking it, it's not tech, right? So
I have to break it.
Well, I know you do. So
people were asking, like,
you didn't even say anything about my awesome swag this morning.
Oh, Noster.
Yeah, man, isn't that cool? A special shout out to Lisa and Betty and Marcio.
How did you get it that fast?
Cause, dude, I'm VIP. They're like, they send it right to me. Like literally, I had a guy leave from Canada and drive it down across the border and deliver it to my house. Not really. Oh my God, we got a dog. I love dogs. Oh my God. I didn't know. I knew you got a puppy. I forgot all about it. What's its name?
This one it's named after a local hockey player, but I just call him Buddy.
Buddy?
He's Buddy. He's my buddy.
Yeah, the local hockey player. Let me guess. I probably can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. He's So we had we're actually fostering 2 of them. We had somebody had to abandon their litter, and so these guys were left alone to fend for themselves. He's 7 weeks.
Well, selfish plug, since you bring the dog in, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody that's listening to this, the auction will start this week. You will be able to be basically bid throughout the week. I believe it's 8 days. We're going to keep it open.
Yep.
Winning person gets a Titan watch, and I'm announcing here today live. Yeah, right here. Right. I'm announcing here today live that I will also be donating a Titan watch to someone who has donated randomly. So if you put $5 in or whatever you can afford, this goes to Operation Paws, which takes care of abandoned puppy dogs like the one that Davey's holding right now. God bless him. It gets food, shelter, helps them with beds, toys. Some of these dogs have never even had a toy before. So, it really kind of breaks my heart. But don't get me started. Like, I'll start blabbering on about it. But, being mean as a person is one thing. But being mean to animals is just like, that just irks me. Irks me. Dogs love you implicitly, man. And the Flux family loves their pets. You know what I mean? Like, all you got to do is put a picture of a dog up in there, and it's on like Donkey Kong. Everybody's got 1 million of them, so I love that. Oh my God, Davey, I'll send you my address. Just go ahead and ship him down here.
We'll ship him over.
So the other charity that goes for is another one that I really like is Code Like a Girl. So one of the big things that we notice in the space is it's disproportionately represented by men over women. So I would like to see us work hard and help out projects like that to help foster and build women into the ecosystem, get them into crypto, teach them how to code, get involved, because when they're involved and we're working together, it's a better product. So that's a good one that I really like. So
absolutely. My daughter is coding. Who knew? But it's funny how she approaches it compared to my boys. I've really noticed the difference in the way she creates and the way she builds things. I think it's just yes, I know you're upset. I know. I think it's Buddy's not
Buddy is
happy.
not very buddy right now, is he?
No, he's tired.
Mm.
He's been up since 5.
I do like how the
So
wife just kind of came in and gave him to you and ran off.
Yep.
That's yeah. Oh, that's funny.
She's bringing
Well,
me my coffee.
oh, now you get to give the dog back, right?
Yes, exactly.
No,
Right.
there you go.
He's a bit tired.
Is he tired? Well, he should be, because he's been having zoomies all morning.
Yeah, Zoomies.
Oh, zoomies, man. That's I had some zoomies.
No,
this
we're
morning.
good.
I had some zoomies this morning too, because I was upstairs and when you sent me a message and was like, "Hey, we're getting ready," I'm like, I'm not even dressed yet. I'm like running all around like a crazy man trying to get ready. I run down the steps. I'm like, oh, I forgot my Titan watch. Like I have that on.
Yep. I noticed you do the blue, the plastic band too. It's a little
like
lighter.
that. Well,
Yeah,
you know, the thing about it is I want to keep my other band from scratching. And, you know, when you're typing on that keyboard, you can always get that little bit of wear down there.
Yep.
So that's why I like this rubber band, because, you know, these were nice. This was a $40 band they threw in because they were late on delivery. So Alan and his bunch, my son happens to work for them as well. So I get the inside skinny on everything that's happening. So they're really good guys, and very exciting stuff coming up for them. They're getting ready to release the KDA titanium watch. We also have a Bitcoin watch that's going to be released. And by the end of the year, you're going to see the Flux Ghost. Ooh, and it is badass. I'm not leaking anything. I'm not sharing anything till I'm ready, because I'm telling you, that is going to be lit. Only thing I'll share is this. In your mind, close your eyes and listen to me, right? Let's take us to a place. It is a titanium black band, full titanium, right? And on the dial is Flux Blue with a white ghost logo, right? So like this has got like, if you like watches, you're into this stuff. So it's
for everybody who's new to this, Dan is into watches. If you haven't figured that out yet.
I'm a horologist, studier of time is what it's called.
The one you're wearing, you made yourself, right?
I did. I built this myself.
And it's still going.
I mean, it's still working as far as I know. Well, the time's off right now, so I guess that'll tell you something. To be fair, I didn't get a chance to set it when I was running down here. But anyway, yeah, they're doing a lot of really cool things. Man, Davey, it's been a crazy couple weeks. I mean, God, where do I even start?
Well, and that's why, because we were talking earlier. He's like, we can't do the auction yet, and Dan was all sad, and he's like, let's just postpone the AMA. I'm like, no, let's get into the AMA. It was a fun week.
It was a fun week. We saw a lot of cool stuff. So, you know, if you guys were here, you for the having, I still have
Whatever.
that. Well, now I don't have to worry about it for another 2.5 years. So I'm not even going to talk about it. So it's done. So, yeah, I mean, if you were here for it, it was a lot of fun. You know, I know everybody's bumming out right now and they're belly aching about half the rewards. Well, you really got two choices: scale up your infrastructure, or maybe go a different route. Maybe buy some Flux instead of mine some Flux. Maybe you take 1 or 2 nodes down if you want to need to make sure that you're in. But I will say this: the folks that are running nodes at VPS providers, bring them home. They're very profitable when you're running them from home. So if you got 3 of them, if you get 2 of them at the house running, then you don't have to worry about that. So, you know, and I continue to keep saying it, and we are going to announce it soon, as soon as our practice nodes are, and I can share some information about the practice. Just remind me, Davey, that those home nodes are going to start being incentivized, because we want as much decentralization as humanly possible. And that means if we have exposure at VPS providers, we want to make sure we get that down and mitigate it. We are way better than we used to be. Not even like in the same ballpark, but we can get better yet, and we can work hard to get it there. So having went well, you always
without a hitch.
you always get a little nervous as that countdown starts to go. You know what I mean? Like I shared like a meme when Twitter says
sweating guy.
No, it was the Pablo Escobar one where he's like walking around staring out at the pool, staring at it. You know what I mean? It's like that, waiting for that last block, right? And then that block hits, and then everybody's like, "Yay!" But if you're part of the dev team, that block hits, and you're like, "It's the next block
It's
that
the
I'm
next
worried
one,"
about."
but it came like within seconds, which was.
And then you're like, "No, just wait, just wait." There we go. All right, now we're good.
We were lucky it was not like a 5-minute block time after the.
Oh my god!
Block
Some of those block times were like 15 minutes, forming some of them blocks like up to like 400 and 500 plus transactions going through there, which is crazy. So
for those who don't know how that works, right? Because we say our block time is 2 minutes, and I'm going to go technical here for a sec, so
oh shit,
bear with me. The idea behind the blockchain is it's 2 minutes, but if more people join in, the block time goes smaller. And so we're going to go find blocks faster, and basically we run out of blocks quicker. So what do? We up the difficulty. The problem with that is that the higher the difficulty, the longer it takes. So it's always a constant balance. And what I noticed back then during the evening was there's a lot of people jumped on mining Flux all of a sudden, like last second, like, oh my God, we're missing it. And basically it pushed the difficulty up. And then as the halvening came close, some started dropping off, and then we were still here on the difficulty, so we had to bring that down again. So if you were wondering why there's a bit of a longer delay sometimes.
Yeah, we get a lot of people out there ask about the 2-minute block time. They don't like it. Honestly, there's no reason to change it. We're not a layer 1, so it's not like we need TPS or anything like that. We're not a settlement mechanism. So it just makes sense to have 2-minute block times. It works. Plus, it doesn't mess with your, basically your tokenomics of the project. If you move that down to a minute or 30-second block time, we want full blocks. There's no sense in letting, blocks are nowhere near being full at this point in time. Somewhere down the road, we may have to adjust it. Who knows? But I don't see any, need to adjust it. And I mean, there's others off chain and parallel assets that work much faster than Flux if you're doing it as a settlement mechanism.
Yeah, so absolutely.
And that's why we have parallel Binance assets. Smart Chain is like mad cheap and fast. You know what I mean? Like I don't know about Binance, but I know about their Binance Smart Chain. So yeah. So what else happened, Davey? We had let me go through this handy dandy announcement page because that's usually what I look at when I'm like trying to wrap things up. So Noster. So we dropped the Noster node. So we were the very first truly decentralized network to actually deploy a Noster node. If you're not familiar with Noster is, it's Jack Dorsey's new pet project that he's working on, which is basically decentralized Twitter, but not just Twitter. All of your social accounts. So if you were on Twitter and you decide to leave that platform and you want to go to Facebook, you can basically bring all of your followers back over to you on Facebook. And what that means is you can't necessarily be deplatformed anymore, which is why I love it. And why as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm all about it. We need it on Flux. How do we make it happen? So big shout out to Lucas. Big shout out to Glass House. Those guys worked their ass off on it. We got some really cool stuff coming from Chat GPT as well, which is pretty awesome. So we have I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's pretty damn cool. It's kind of creepy and scary, but it's cool.
It is scary the things it comes back with.
But
Noster, by the way, it's on Marketplace. So if you want to deploy your own,
yes,
just go to the Marketplace.
Highly recommend it. And there's a guide. If I can do it, you can do it, and I suck. So, if you guys can do it, just go have some fun and deploy it. I think it would be neat to see 30 or 40 or 60 Noster relays up. And I mean, they only had like 15 the last time I checked. So, if we were like twice the network, it's kind of hard to avoid that. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to look past that. So,
pretty cool.
So Noster was a big deal. We had we had our new release, Flux OS 3.3 3.4.0,
3.4.1.
3. Yeah, and that yeah, we like to do that. Keeps everybody on their toes, Davey. So we announced that we will start doing interviews with we call it Meet the Future of Flux. So, hey, I'm not going to live forever, guys. So, one of the biggest things, is that the core guys got together, the business development team, and we said, how do we position ourselves to be in the best place moving forward into the future? So if Dan gets hit by a bus tomorrow or something, oh God, please don't let me get hit by a bus tomorrow. I'm staying away from everywhere I go.
Don't go Final Destination now.
Yeah, no Final Destination. That you'll start to see how sharp these folks are. Jeremy Anderson, who our CTO. Guy's a freaking genius. He's great at what he does. Like really getting him in front of you guys so that you can understand how good of a hands we're placing the project in as we grow. Like it's good to have that.
Jeremy is such a chill dude too, right? He's like,
dude, humble as all get out. I have a ton of respect for the kid. He's a kid. I say kid because I'm an old man, so I can say that. I call the kiddos, right? So Alex, who another dynamo on the business dev team, Davey and Lucas and Adam and all those guys, and our devs. You talked about Ali. Ali's freaking a beast, and we have big Daz. Daz is dynamic. Oh my God. This team is a great team. And if you didn't look at the picture, there's about 34, 35, I don't know, maybe 40. Dim is another guy that does all of our videos. We've
Marcio, all the
Marcio,
nice
all those guys.
backgrounds.
Yeah. Marcio, yeah, he's a beast. And so it's cool for you guys to see behind the scenes, like what's really happening. These are the folks that are dedicated to the project because, I think that's important for us to move forward. So I think we're going to start it this week with Jeremy and Alex. And that'll be probably on a live stream. We may do it as a podcast. I don't know yet. So we'll see whatever happens. Oh, the podcast back to Davey. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yep,
So
listen to it.
Basically me just rambling on for 45 minutes about whatever comes up, so I hope you guys like it. Actually, this last podcast was just basically nothing but people bitching, which is nice. I actually went into Twitter and I said, what don't you like about the project? And I think when you ask people what they don't like, if you can give them a good, clear, concise answer back, I think it's really good. As a matter of fact, I invited somebody who was really down on proof of use of work. And he kind of was on Reddit. Davey, you saw it. That guy's coming on a space with me next week. So I'm going to let him ask the questions and I'm going to give him the answers because we don't, the one thing about the Flux community, we don't hide from a fight. If you're going to talk shit, we're going to call you with facts. And if you keep talking shit, then we'll call you bullshit because, we're all about listening to constructive criticism to make the project better. That's what we should be doing. So if you're out there and you're something about the project that you like or concerns you, bring it to Discord, bring it to the team, send a DM. It doesn't matter, however you want to do it so that you can share. People been tagging me on Twitter with questions and I've been answering the best I can. But the one thing I found about Flux here recently is, okay, so here's our social metrics back in the full out bull run. Here's our social metrics now. I don't know what happened here between this point and this point. I do. We have an amazing marketing team. I can't keep up. Literally, I had to give 2 of the accounts away and be like, guys, you guys are going to help me. And I'm trying to get somebody to help me run my own account because I get so many messages every day that I can't go through it. So it used to be that I'd sit on the couch at night with the dog and go through and see what was there. I just don't have it. So if you guys reach out to me and I don't get back to you right away, hang tight. I don't know if you guys watched football, but there was a guy in the States. He played for the Lions. His name was Barry Sanders. And this guy was he'd go all over the place. Right. And when the defenses would get ready to play him, they said, if you missed Barry the first time, if you miss him, just wait where you're at. He'll be back. Right. Because he would go out and go back and just get him again on the second time. Well, that's what it is with me. I'm a little like Barry Sanders. Kind of.
Criticism is good. If that means that people are intrigued by the project, and they're questioning things, and that's always a good thing. We'll answer them. I'm answering them in general chat, in whatever chat you ask the questions. People
well,
and the community answers them as well. So it's nice to see that as well. It's not just on us all the time having to answer the questions. There's a lot of community folks stepping up and answering a lot of questions too. Which is
well,
nice
the
to see.
funny part is this too, Davey, is the fact that they say if if they're vocal like that then you're doing something right. Well, that's good. And they say if people are copying you, you're doing something right. I'm like, we must be doing like amazing
Have you
because
noticed how much stuff is
geez,
coming out
geez.
now with AI or proof of use work
We were
or
doing all
people
this shit before it
claiming?
was cool. Yeah. Well, wait till they
Um,
get wait till the Cirrus nodes deploy and all of a sudden now, Chat GPT or whatever AI based product can tap into, you know,
Oh.
8,000, 10,000, Cirrus nodes running all over the world. I mean, it's going to be
There,
insane.
there's one little application already running on Flux right now, Pet AI or something it is. Something the Glasshouse was playing with where he talks to ChatGPT, taps into the API of them. So you can ask what you should name your next pet. I think Betty tried it and she put in Flux. It came back with the Fluxinator. I love that. Sometimes AI amazes me how it.
Well,
comes
there
back.
you go. That's the micro transaction for Flux. It's called the Fluxinator.
The Fluxinator.
Send me 0.00004 Fluxinators.
That's one of the things that's been happening this week.
Yeah, the
Ghosty has
naming.
been.
Yeah,
Yep.
so there's lots of cool names that have been thrown out there.
Me and Dan are fighting about one as well. I like Fluxy. He hates Fluxy.
Yeah, not a huge Fluxy fan. I like a couple of them. Plasma was cool because the Flux and Fusion and all this other stuff. Plasma would be cool.
Yep.
Like Semi 3 Plasma. So
my sons gave me one because he's sleeping in there still because it's 8:30. He's a welder, so he works with Flux all the time, but the real Flux then. He said burn. I'm like, why? He's like, when you misuse it, everything gets burned.
well, that would freak some people out, man. They'd be like,
Burn.
"Oh my god, they're gonna burn everything."
So burn was his favorite. I'm like, no, I'm not proposing that one.
And you know what else was big this week was our 5-year anniversary. So man, I couldn't have been. I can't be more proud of what I am. It's like in this community and everything that they've done. So we had a little 5-year anniversary dig. Everybody came in. We did an AMA. I talked a bunch of shit. Clearly, I did not know it was being live streamed. So, Davey, from now on, let me know that when you do that. So it wasn't too
DJ
bad.
Minds was like, would you guys mind if I show this? I'm like, just go for it.
Oops. Well, it was a lot.
I
of
was
fun.
typing it to Dan, and Dan was like, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, so we had we launched a bunch of more stuff in the marketplace. Radiant nodes were put up there, a whole bunch of different stuff. You guys just go through the announcement thing and just kind of see where we're at. But lots of good stuff. Zelcore's done some pretty cool stuff this week too. They deployed, I want to say, Ethereum and Solana NFTs, so you can have them both on. I think it's every platform but Apple, because Apple are being serious assholes about the whole NFT thing. And as a matter of fact, Coinbase pulled theirs off of there as well. So let's hope that we get something figured out with those yo-hos, because it is what it is. So
you have to get a new phone now because Apple doesn't support Zelcore.
Maybe. No, I got
when Flux phone.
Got an Apple phone and I like it. So
yeah, it's easy to use for us.
So we also got a bunch of Fractus nodes coming online. So we are announcing that the beginning of the month, I guess it's March the 1st, we will start rewarding 15% additional rewards on any Fractus node that's been deployed on the network. And if you're wondering, that doesn't come from block rewards. So the people that have the other nodes running out there, this doesn't impact you. This is actually something that was funded by the foundation very early on. We knew we were going to have to do this, and we've done this before in the past to make sure that we get infrastructure deployed. I want to say there's over 100 of them now, Davey. I want to say 100 plus Fractus nodes.
Give me 1 sec. I'll give you the exact number.
Yeah.
I have a slide in the background that nobody has access to yet. That'll be coming.
Of course you do. They don't share nothing with me anymore, guys. That's because they say that I leak everything.
Well, we give you something, and all of a sudden we see it everywhere. So I start leaking myself now.
Well, Yeah, well, I did notice you beat me to it on a couple of ones last week. So
Let's see. Might not show up yet.
Somebody said I think it was over 100. I'm pretty sure.
It's 176 or 175 or something is what I saw last time.
Yeah, we had another. This is we talked about the Algorand drop. So that should be. We're going to announce that that actual claiming of the Algorand. So you should be able to see that in your Zelcore before too long, and then eventually you'll be able to do your claiming. You can claim it, but you can't move it right away. If you guys remember, if this is your first snapshot, this is how it goes. So basically, this isn't an airdrop. We don't do those things. This is for people who have mined and ran nodes in the past, and these are parallel assets that will be basically bring them up to snuff, so to speak, on these different parallel chains. So if you had Flux when the snapshot was taken, you're going to get Flux Algo, and you'll be able to claim it. And I think a week later, approximately, you'll be able to start moving it around to different chains. So I don't want to hear it. 175 Fractus nodes, which is way more than what I thought, which is crazy. So, a lot of people will bring their Flux algo back over and they'll run, more infrastructure on Flux. But I will say this. Take the time and look at Algorand. Like, I know it's VC laden and all that other crap, but they are doing some pretty unique things. And there is a reason why we picked that one, is I think that, it does make sense for us to have exposure in those different areas as well. So as much as I dislike proof of stake, and, they are doing some unique stuff there. So I think you guys should check it out. So, yeah, I mean, overall, pretty awesome week. Davey, anything I think that I'm missing?
Oh yeah, you're missing a couple things. We have 2 new people in the team. 3 if you count Glasshouse as well, because we haven't really introduced Glasshouse on stream.
Yep.
So Glasshouse
Four.
is one.
4. Because we've got Glasshouse. We have Bill Dodge. Bill Dodge joined the team. Big shout out to Bill.
Yeah, we got TSN social.
He got Titan number 252, by the way. Lucky guy. So that was pretty sweet. He got the last one of production. So Bill and I are buddies because we both we appreciate cars, right? And one of the cars that I really like is Buick Grand Nationals. If you're an OG in the space, you know what that is. People see it, they think it's a Monte Carlo SS, but real car people know exactly what the hell it is. And he sent me this little movie about the end of the Buick Grand National and like the last one to come off the assembly line. And I thought that was pretty damn cool. So it was pretty fitting that he ended up with 250. And what we also have Tech Social. I think
Tech Social Network, or TSN. I call him just TSN because
that guy, if you've read something about Flux, it probably came from him. He went from being almost completely obscure. When he first started, he asked me a few questions. He started building stuff. He has an entire network built out now. And he started to move into other content. He's doing, KDA and things like that. We want him on the Flux team because he's a valuable part of, continuing to build out the verbiage and the approach for Flux. And it was a good ad. So we were real happy to get him. So we covered Glasshouse, we covered Tech Social, we covered Bill, and we have Fardic, which is Fundus, FUNDSSS. You're going to see, and I'll give him the credit here too, because this guy's a dynamo. He came in and he took the bull by the horns. Betty has an amazing team in marketing. You're going to see me on damn near every podcast under the sun for the next 2 weeks. Like literally, we have 20 plus podcasts, live streams, and interviews lined up. He is tenacious. He comes in and he digs for those things and he finds the opportunity to get us in front of people. So great addition to the marketing team, works well with Betty and Lucas and everybody on that team, Marcio and that whole group. And so, and the marketing team is kind of its own little world right now because it really kind of, it makes us look good because we're doing a lot of work and it's very hard to keep up with us. So, you know what I mean? They are active like, I can't even keep up half the time. So no. Betty, our chief marketing officer, who happens to be Tadeush's sister, if anybody, that's a little bit of, she is amazing.
She's always there. Like,
Always there. Doesn't matter what time of day, what's going on. I could be sitting on the couch and send her a message. She's getting back to me right away. So God bless her for all the hard work
if
she's done.
somebody is able to multitask, it is Betty. She has her own family to run. She has us to run because let's be honest, we need some guidance.
See, look at this. Look, Betty is sending me a message right now. She says, "Oh, don't forget to talk about these things." So, thank you, Betty, for reminding me because I would not have talked about any of these things, and they're very important. So, if you didn't notice,
oh shit, me too. Whoop. Sorry.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, this week we rebranded the term Zelhash to Flux Proof of Useful Work. There's a lot of reasons why we did this, and some people don't like the fact that we did it. But the fact is, we should have done it much longer ago. I mean, you talk about confusing Zelhash. Nobody even understands, the concept around that. The algo doesn't change. The name is what changes. And we run proof of work currently on 50% proof of useful work, 50% of the network already. So it just made sense to align it. The other thing is go ahead.
Yeah, and people have asked, like, why do you not just call it Flux hash? I'm like, yeah, we could, but at the same time, we're moving towards proof of use for work. Then why not just straight away call it Flux proof of use for work?
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is like if you're 50% there, if you were already at 0 and you called it something different, like ICP did with their shit, right? That doesn't make sense, right? But if you're already running proof of use to work on 50% of the network and you're working on deploying it on the second phase, because we're already starting to, do our minimal viable projects and everything on it, it just makes sense from a branding standpoint. So, I'm a fan of it. I know there are people that argued about it. It isn't going to change. It is what it is. It just makes sense for the community. You have to remember, you've been here for a long time. A lot of these people that are bitching about this, you've been here a long time. There are new people that are going to come into this and they're going to learn the project for the first thing. The less confusing we can make the project, the more succinct we can make the project. We moved Jetpack to Flux Cloud. Everything is Flux Cloud now, right? So having that whole thought process. And by the way, there's a new website coming, Davey.
Ooh, is it ever sexy?
And oh my God, I don't even want to get started. I am so pumped.
No.
Yeah, pull it up real quick. What the hell? Just real quick, up and down.
But they're
pull it up. I don't care. They can yell at you. Pull it up.
Well, they can yell at me.
They can yell at me. This is an executive decision, right? So everybody on the live stream who wants to see the website real quick, say aye. Aye. All right. See, they all want to see it. So let's do it. I kind of want to see it again too, because I don't have the other. I don't have the link.
Let me grab it. I'm in so many group chats these days.
Hey, Jake Musk just asked a good question. He asked about Dynex. So we'll put that on our AMA session, but come back with that.
Yeah, well, I'll hang on. I saw that too. I'll favorite it. There you go. All right, you asked for it. I'll share it. Share screen. Share. You ready?
Now, one of the things you're going to notice about the website, we wanted to make it as clean and user-friendly as totally possible. We wanted this to have the look and feel of a Web2-based infrastructure so people could come in and do their cost estimations. They can see, compare to other platforms as well. It has our global network distribution. All of our different projects we're using Flux Cloud on. And you also start to see on this site, it's going to all revolve around Flux Cloud because that's the new nomenclature that we're going to use. So it's no more Jetpack. It's no more, also see different apps that you can launch. We also have a piece in there for climate friendly. And we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee on satisfaction. So if you deploy something on Flux and it sucks and you don't like it, you'll get your money back. That's how much we believe in the project and believe in the deployment. So the new website is absolutely fire and I love it. I love the feel of it. I think it's in dark mode too eventually, which will really be fire as well. But big shout out to Talk to Coded, K1, Nolan, who Porterhouse Gaming. Those guys have busted their butts on this. Davey for his input, the entire team that's worked on this rebuild. Our goal is to try to have this thing go live next week, I believe. Nolan would probably start choking me if I said that. So there's no guarantees, but you'll see it.
Let's not put a date on it.
No date, but you'll see it soon. You'll see it's there. It just needs to have the rest of the pieces built around it. So, all right, take it down.
All right.
Don't tell on me, guys. Don't tell on me. So, okay, a couple other things that Betty mentioned for me to mention was the fact that Flux is going to. Okay, so we tend to like wait till the dust settles for these different FOMO pieces, but Flux is launching a proof of use work in AI arm, so it's specifically around artificial intelligence. So. Look, this isn't new to anyone on this project. You go back 2 years when we talked about the Cirrus node for the first time. Our whole premise with the Cirrus node was to create an opportunity for people to do AI, edge compute, that last mile delivery piece. And these are fundamental. This is why we joined NVIDIA's Inception program. This is why we wanted that education to bring those pieces in. So we are going to and we're not don't go FOMOing over it. We're already doing it, guys. We're already building this crap out so that it runs AI. It's not like, I won't name the name of the token that pumped a bunch because they came out and they shilled that they're doing AI. They're not doing AI. They're doing this. They're doing the same thing they were doing 6 months ago. Stop fucking buying stupid shit. Just don't do that. Like, listen, we're going to do it. And we're gonna love it, and it's gonna run. We're already working on the ChatGPT integration with the marketplace, so that you can integrate a Discord bot. Anyone who has Discord and any Discord server can come to Flux marketplace and deploy that server into theirs as well. So we have nice, Glass House has been working on this, and we're very close to it. I mean, I've been playing with it all week, Davey. I know you have been too, because I see your questions in there. So. We are going to have a dedicated arm that's specifically around the development of proof of useful work and AI. So don't FOMO, don't go running out thinking that it's going to be the next answer to all things AI. Right? We're not. We're building the infrastructure so that all that AI can run on top of it. No different than we were doing 6 months ago. No different than we were doing 2 years ago. No different than we were doing 4 years ago. So.
We're building it right. That's the
building it right. That's the thing. So ChatGPT means nothing to me because, one, if you've used it and you've put in particular things, it's highly censored. It's highly skewed to one side of the political spectrum. It's completely ran by Microsoft now because they're in bed with Microsoft. It's been integrated into Bing, the shittiest search engine of all time. So, there are going to be other products. And by the way, there's an open source project that I've talked to about. They want to deploy their AI version and they want to do it on Flux. So there's going to be folks out there that are going to do it. So, don't FOMO into the stupidness, make sure your project's actually doing something that actually is AI. Big announcement. This one's probably the biggest announcement we have of the day, right? Because I think that this is unbelievably important. We have silos in Flux, right? Everybody works on their own particular thing depending on the importance level of it. And I'm pleased to announce that Today-ish will be joining the Proof of Use of Work team. So the man, the myth, the legend, the Trunk will also be working directly with Alex and Davey and the entire Proof of Use of Work team, the University of Applied Science in Geneva, Switzerland. I'm getting good, Davey. Look at that shit.
I'm always wondering if you can do it. So
we're also working on, some of the other universities with what's it called? UBA,
yep.
right? So, and I think you're going to see probably some TED Talk style talks coming to like folks new into the blockchain. We're working on that. But this is huge for the project because this gives us the shot of adrenaline that we need. And Jeremy Anderson will be on that project as well, our CTO. So we have the heavy hitters on the proof of use of work now, the way that it should be. And, I can't thank the team and all the hard work that they've put into it. Alex and his work, like this kid is, and he's not a kid. He's 27 years old, 26 years old. He looks like he's and this is a
He's
good
14.
thing. Alex, if you're listening, this is a good thing. You look 14. I looked 14 when I was 20 some years old too. So, and I look pretty good for 47 years old. Okay. So that's not a bad thing. Right. So I look at the people I went to school with, they all look like crypt keepers. Right. So I'm doing it right. You'll do it right too. Stay young, brother. But
Alex is awesome, by the way.
he is.
I hit him up last night. I was at Costco shopping with the missus because whatever. And I'm like, I need this, and just texting him, and he calls me like, "Yep, let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I come back home and done.
Yeah. Oh, I sent him something the other night about a project that, because we're seeing a lot of these people come out, you know, trying to say that they're proof of use of work or whatever, rebranding what they already have. They're not really doing anything that's legit. Now they're the same people that run out there and say they're going to do AI too, right? So it's like, okay, you're literally
Are those the same people who said they were doing NFT at one point too? And
oh yeah, and DeFi, and the metaverse was so big at one point in time. It's like, shut the hell up. All we want to do with Flux is we want to run all those things, all these little bright and shiny toys that you have. We want to run that on Flux. So somebody did mention about ChatGPT having a Dan mode, which is, I kind of like the name. It's called Do Anything Now, which I guess takes the filter off. My question is, why isn't it that way from the beginning? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why do you come out like woke or, have this political correctness or the skew to one side or the other? And by the way, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I don't care about either one of them. I think the one is as bad as the other one. But it does bother me when you start to skew those things around. So,
everybody has to be able to create their own opinion on things and get all the facts before they make a decision. If you get only one set, your decision is kind of skewed to begin with, and that's wrong.
Well, this is why Flux was born, right? Because there's going to be somebody that's going to create a competitor to ChatGPT. You're already seeing Google do it in their centralized platform. So somebody's going to do it decentralized, and when they do it, they're going to do it on Flux. So that's what makes sense. Having something that isn't skewed by political bias or pushed in one direction or the other direction, that is what we need in this space. We need more of it. We're already starting to see some changes around news media and alternative news pieces like Twitter. People are actually able to I'm not a super big fan of Elon Musk. I think the guy's pretty smart. I think he's been at the right place at the right time and done the right things. I think he's, but I think what he's done with Twitter is refreshingly better than what it was. I think it's still got a lot of ways to go, but I think Noster really comes into play as well. So hopefully, Elon, if you're listening, run it on Flux and also get Noster integrated with it as well so that you can be the next version of Twitter. You can be the town, you want to be the town square for social media. This is the way you do it, right? So people need to be heard. If you don't like it, don't listen. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. It isn't, stifling people's opinions or the ability to talk about something or let people discern things. You don't get into this cognitive bias where everybody thinks, the sheep follow one thing. You need to hear those things. Davey, I don't know about you, but I listen to my podcast list is as eclectic as it gets. So it goes everywhere from Joe Rogan to Sam Harris to Lex Freeman or whatever his name is. I mean, Jordan Peterson. I jump from every end of the spectrum to the other, right? Rachel Maddow, which I don't know. I listen to her because I got to hear both sides.
It is always important to listen to both sides.
It is. And I think if we all do that, and we also expect people to do that as well, like we stop this, and I'm getting off my soapbox. Sorry, guys. If we stop this thing where people are trying to say things and they're trying to engage you, stop with the brick wall, right? Listen to what they got to say. They may have you. It's like my sister. I love her, right? But she's a raging liberal. Very, very liberal, right? And I'm basically a libertarian, right? Socially liberal, fiscally conservative. And my son was in a car accident about 7 years ago. and he was on life support and all kinds of stuff. And you find yourself talking about weird stuff, when it's 2:00 in the morning and you're just trying to keep your mind off of what's happening. And she happened to started talking to me about politics, which is usually a hot button. And as we started talking about politics, I said to her, I said, Darlene, I think there's probably more that we agree on in politics than what we disagree on. And she said, I don't see how that's possible. So we went through like a little checklist and we agreed with 60%. So two people from the very far ends of the spectrum agreed with 60% of what the issues were. Now, granted, that 40%, probably a big 40%, but in reality, if you can find the things that you agree with and take them and get them out of the equation, and then you start looking at the things that are challenging and start to be able to relay back and forth exactly what what your opinions are on those. I think that's important. So freedom of speech is unbelievably paramount. That's the entire reason why Flux was born, in a sense, to make sure that we had those avenues. We wouldn't have to worry about, maybe I have a website that is, a libertarian website, right? It's all about, governments suck, right? And they do. And all of a sudden they just decide, well, you know what? We don't like the way you think. We're going to remove you. Boom, you're done. Well, with Flux, that can't happen. So I can keep doing what I can do. And if you don't like it, then leave. That's the way I look at it. Anyway. All right.
This was our rant for the day.
That was a rant for the day, right? So nobody complained and everybody was talking. So that's good. All right.
It's important to express sometimes what we think and why we think what we're doing here. So that's why I let Dan go. Let him do his thing.
Well, sometimes you just can't get in my way. It's just like, I get on a rant. Imagine what my family thinks.
I don't want to know,
Oh
but
my
I can always
God.
ask your son. I'll ask him one day.
Oh, he'll tell you. He goes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's crazy. He just goes on and whatever.
I sometimes see the same.
That boy's
I saw him the other day on
definitely
Twitter. I'm
like
like,
me.
oh, that's young Dan right there.
Yeah, he talks a lot of
No
mad
filter.
shit. He came
No
to me,
filter.
or he sent me something the other day. Somebody was trolling him on
Yeah, I
somebody
saw
was
that
trolling
on
him on
Twitter.
the internet about the Flux. They said that the Flux looks like, or the Flux Titan watch was like a Casio. I said, Josh, first of all, do you really think he thinks it looks like a Casio? And second of all, Twitter is pure cancer. If you start falling down that rabbit hole, I said, it's not going to end well in the end. And the funny part is I said, you know what you should do? You should ask the guy if we're going to send him a watch. And all we want him to do is look at it and give his honest opinion on it. If he thinks it's shit, he can make a video and say that it's shit, but we stood behind it and whatever. So he sent it to him, and guess what? He bought the watch. So, in the end, you could have said some nasty things on there about this, that, and the other thing or whatever. Instead, you just give them the opportunity to see what they're missing, right? And that's exactly where we need to be politically. Anyway, let's do some AMA questions.
Some questions. So fire away, folks. We'll see what we can answer. But
look, my son just said oh God, he never
stops.
Well, you know what? That's tough shit. So
here.
I would say that's probably the majority of my family thinks that. My wife loves me though, so she doesn't. Well, all my family loves me, but she puts up with it probably a little bit more than everybody else. Josh just tells me to shut up.
A couple other things though before I dive into the questions, because there's a couple other things. There's a couple of restructurings happen. We already mentioned today as moving into the proof of user work team. Will be with the release of WordPress. Yes, it is coming. Get ready. We'll be actually having a product manager for the first time in Flux 2, right? So we'll be doing that. So he'll be taking control of all your concerns. He'll be working with you guys
specifically for WordPress, right?
For WordPress,
yeah.
He's
So
going to
we
be
have
focused on WordPress.
Dedicated full-time person working on the WordPress integrations. Yeah,
that's how much we believe in it. I've been using it already. I tweeted about it already. It's mind-blowing to me what I paid for it and what I'm getting as a backend for it compared to what other people have. There's a lot of people already interested. There's people asking when is there a guide? Yes, there's already a guide, not written by me. So you're good. So no need to throw bricks at me. But yeah, we're getting there. But we'll announce who's joining for that this week, I'm assuming, and as soon as we feel confident to release it, you guys will be the first to know. And let's dive into the questions.
There's one right there that I want to get right away about the NFT for the watch. It says when NFT for the owners. So we're basically waiting on Zelcore to finish the view part of the NFT. If we sent the NFTs out now, you wouldn't be able to view it in Zelcore. And I think part of the fun is to have it in your Zelcore and have it so you can look at it. So once we have everybody's information, so all the watches have been shipped out. So if you're on this and you call or on this live stream and you ordered a watch and you didn't get one, check out the Sal website and let them know, just in case somebody missed something along the way. We had one that was kind of, see, the problem was I because it was my idea, I started running it at the beginning and it kind of all took a shit. And then Alan swooped in with Josh and they took care of it. So it all ended up being good in the end. But if we missed you, just let us know. Send us a transaction ID or whatever it is, and we'll make sure you get your watch. But the NFTs, we're thinking probably here within the next, I don't know, let's say 2 months. So just hang tight, and you'll be good to go. What is a typical return on a Flux Titan node? It doesn't look on the surface to be worth the investment, is it? Well, it depends on what you want to do in terms of holding the asset. Always kind of putting your asset to work. Now, the nice thing about the Titan nodes is because a lot of people have been asking me about this whole thing with Kraken, like how could that affect Titan? Titan isn't a staking service. Actually, you're using your own assets directly out of your platform, and they're all just shared nodes. So, we don't. People kind of use staking as this blanket term across the board for all parts of like anything that you've staked in, whether it's on centralized exchanges, which you shouldn't fucking do anyway. Don't do that. Okay. Or if you're doing it out of your own platform or on a staking node. Okay. So that's there's no issue there. What the SEC is going after is these centralized entities that are doing these staking and lending services. Okay. Do I agree with Gary and
he froze for us.
Kraken and staking as a service?
Oh, he's back.
I don't like to limit choice, but I mean, it's almost like, you look at Genesis. Here's the Winklevoss twins, who, by the way, I thought were the most clean and clear of anyone in crypto. And they got wrapped up in this whole, shit show from FTX. So it's like, at what point do you start surveying the scene and saying centralized exchanges may not be what they're cut up to be, right? Go back, all the way to Mount Gox. Like, those who forget our past are doomed to repeat it, right? And that's exactly what this is. So I'm not wild about the whole process of limiting choice, but I am a huge fan of owning your own crypto. And that's why Titan shared nodes are important. You hold your own asset. It's locked up in your own Zelcore. That's different than every other platform out there. That is no different than running a node yourself. So, we have no concern whatsoever. If there is more regulatory clarity that comes out and they say, yep, you can't do that, then we'll have to address it at that particular point in time and might have to exclude U.S. citizens, which is a damn shame. The U.S. is just shit in the bed. They're going to push innovation.
The U.S. doesn't like technology anymore.
Well, the people that are in there, technology kind of, it's jaded. Like, okay, you have a girlfriend that you're dating and you're really into her and she breaks up with you. And so for a week, she's dating another guy, but then she comes back to you again. She's like, no, I made a mistake. I'm back with you. Right. Okay, cool. We're dating again. Then another couple weeks go by. She leaves you and she's dating another guy. At what point are you going to be like, yeah, I don't really trust this anymore. You know what I mean? We kind of did this to ourselves. The whole crypto ecosystem, the frothiness and FOMO, because how many times do you go back to the well and people keep chasing those high yields, those high rewards, those, you get 100% APY, it's like, okay, well, there definitely needs to be some guidance around that. But I will tell you this, the U.S. better get it together. Congress better get it together. I'm announcing that I'm running for Congress, and
We
no,
now
no,
bring to the
if I
stage
can't, if I can't, if
Dan
I can't,
Keller for.
if I can't change it from the outside, I'll change it from the inside, right?
Scary what the CBDC that they're thinking of in
Oh,
all these
isn't
countries.
that terrifying?
Oh, I
People are.
talked. Yeah,
You better
if,
get
if,
ready because there is no such thing with a CBDC. There's no such thing as a saving account, people.
nope,
Like
done.
they're gonna
They'll burn it.
you'll burn it, you spend it, or you burn it, and they will control every facet of your financial future. There is no more teaching your kids to save and putting money away. And my kids, Josh, buy some crypto, buy some stocks, do your 401k, do these things, like all these, diversify your portfolio, take positions here, don't do this, don't do that, right? No more of that, because it'll all be driven by the government. So if you want that, sit back and wait, right? Because that's exactly what's going to happen to you. You better be vocal. The people in the UK right now, if you're listening to this, you better be fucking vocal, because they are getting ready to shove that down your throat. So good luck with that. You better, if you sit there compliant and you don't fight back, right? You don't bring this up. I mean, get involved. Call, in the States, call your local senators, call your House of Representatives, call your congressman. Do what you got to do to show this isn't going to fly. So just, it's something to think about. I think we're still probably going to end up with it somehow. They're going to do it in another pandemic scenario.
Oh, they're making it sound like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it's scary. It's really scary.
If you've ever watched the movie or read the book 1984, well, it's 1984, people. This is how NSOC started, right here. And the next thing you know, they'll control everything they want you to do. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
You can see it now, by the way. If you actually Google it, you can actually see it. There's a couple of regions in China where they actually do this right now already, where people are kicked out of their houses because they don't have the right funds, or they have a certain point system and all that fun stuff. So let's be careful with this stuff. But
Yeah.
we're not going to rant again because we already did that piece.
Anyway, long story short is, if your intentions are for short-term gains, then I'd say no, Titan's not the place for you. If you're looking to put your money that your Flux to work, and help support the network, because that's the biggest thing, then you put it into a Titan node. There's no guaranteed percentage of return. We don't do any of that shit. It's just like running a node. So, it is what it is. All right, next question, Davey.
Another question, but something I support, and we should all do it. I've got mine running. You should get your own running as well. It doesn't cost you much.
Yes, let's do it. Like, if you're listening, do it. Go do it. And as a matter of fact, I will pay all of your Flux that you have to use for deployment. Tell me what it is. Tell me how many you deployed, and I will give you your Flux back, because I want to see these things get tuned up. So I love seeing the community get involved. So awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. We touched on it.
So what's your opinion on Dynex proof of use of work? Well, I would say this. Davey, you mentioned earlier about the buzzwords, right? There are projects that are going to try to say they're proof of use of work that they're not. I don't know enough about the Dynex project to know that I've done enough research and fell down the rabbit hole enough to not care about them.
Yep.
You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like, I'm not telling people what to do, but do your research, ask them who their developers are. Start there. Say, who are your developers and where can I find them? And oh, by the way, let me ask you about your lead dev too. So the rabbit hole is pretty damn deep. And if you fall down it and you do your due diligence, you'll find exactly what I'm talking about. Ask for their white paper, their fully developed white paper. See how that goes. We had somebody in the community that, I'm all about supporting proof of work projects. I mean, look at the projects we support: Cadena, Ergo, Raven. The list goes on and on. We love proof of work, but don't deceive people, right?
Yeah,
if you're working toward that,
look closer.
If
Just
you're
look closer.
Yeah, if you're working toward that, I'm all about it. We'll give you every resource under the sun to see you be successful. And by the way, proof of use work is not a Flux thing. That there's going to be many people doing proof of use work. And my goal, hopefully, is that they think, all right, well, I'll just participate into the marketplace with Flux. So whether you may be mining Cadena and you want to participate into the proof of use work model with Flux, you can do that. Maybe you're mining whatever other product out there that's, mineable. Ergo, you want to mine Ergo, but you want to have your idle compute go to useful work, you can do that. So, it isn't, proof of useful work was not built for us to have a thiefdom. As a matter of fact, the code's going to be completely open source. Anyone can take it and do whatever they want with it. All I'm saying is don't be premature. If it's just mining and it's not actually doing like useful work, like running apps, running nodes, running front ends, back ends, database servers, WordPress, things like that, show me the work, because what you're talking about is bullshit. So anyway, long story short is just do your due diligence. And I'm not bashing the project. I could be way off on this. I want to see them successful because we'd love to work with them, right? Just do not run into this thing without knowing, exactly what you're getting into. So that's my nice way of saying just do your own research.
All right. A question we see every day.
Well, that's a good question. And I can't speak for the Zelcore team. Gil, the CTO over there, has told me directly, and I don't think this is a secret, that Ledger is the one they want and to have integrated into Zelcore. And I think that's the way they're going to move forward. I can tell you, I've saw their internal roadmap, and I'm not leaking anything. This is, I would say this to anybody if they asked, but Ledger support and Trezor support are both on their roadmap.
So just stay patient. It's coming. Okay, I'm going to get you on another rant now, but I'll risk it for a biscuit.
All right, let's do it. Coinbase win. I don't know. Do they even matter anymore? Like, it almost is like a cliche thing, like, BitConnect, because I don't know what they what do they list anymore? Like, I follow their listing thing, and it's like, I like Coinbase, by the way, and I use Coinbase. It's a great on and off ramp. And by the way, we're going to use Coinbase Pay. That is sweet. You're going to be able to deploy you deploy all your Flux and use the Coinbase Pay app. We've already integrated crypto.com. It's active and working. We already integrated Pay with crypto through Zelcore. So now you can use Zelcore and you crypto through there. You'll use Coinbase, and you'll also have crypto.com as your onboarding process. There's no project out there that's doing that. We're definitely a step above. But long story short is Coinbase knows they can list us. They know we've been in review at 99% for the better part of a year. They just don't list main chains. So we came back to them. We said, didn't list an ETH pair, Flux ETH, or Solana. You have some Solana pieces there, Flux Solana, or, they won't touch Binance Smart Chain. But they know that they could add us if they want to. So I would say if you're here and you're asking when Coinbase, then you probably don't understand, and this is no knock on you, the Chilean. You probably don't understand that they're not necessarily the best fit for us. I think where we're at right now, and I think DeFi is going to continue to keep building out. I like Binance, I like KuCoin, I like Gate, I like Coin Metro, I like these other projects that have us listed. So, yeah, I'm not real worried about Coinbase. If it comes and when it comes, we'll see.
We'll see. I'll take this one. No new info yet on the Flux conference. It's been a hard pill to swallow with the pricing that's been thrown at us.
Well, we screwed up, so we can admit when we screw up. I screwed up. I take 110% accountability on this. When we were looking at the dates to have it in Miami, it just so happens to coincide with the F1 race that goes on down there. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that till the 11th hour when we started getting quotes on venues and stuff. And I was like, something's not right here. And then I figured it out. And then we ended up getting Davey was kind enough to get us a event planner who basically said, yeah, you don't want to do that. That's just gonna put people in a bad position. So, Davey, you can finish out there. I'll let you talk.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just rethink it all together and put a new date to this. So it won't be in May. Sorry, guys. Location is now even up for debate. So we're gonna
Austin
I
is
only
one.
have 24 hours in a day, so so I will put somebody on the team on this this week to start looking at other things. I have another conversation actually after the AMA with somebody else, and then we're gonna look at different venues.
Oh, look, we got Batola. He's the event planner. He's going to reach out to us. Hey,
There you go.
The more the merrier, man. We need the help. Couple places we talked about: Vegas,
Austin,
Texas,
Nashville came by on my desk the other
Tennessee.
day. Chicago has have looked at. I've looked even west, San Fran, LA, and I'm also looking at Europe. But
I mean, I'll go if I have to, but I mean, it's not like I wanna. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a hermit. What can I say, guys? No, but we're gonna have something nice. I don't want our first event to be handicap people going down there and have to spend $1,000 for a freaking room. You know what I mean? I just don't want that. So we got a couple venues we're looking at, and we may end up actually tag teaming this onto another conference that's happening at the same time, so that people can kind of have a twofer. So we will get. Somebody just said, Dan, let's go to Austin and meet Joe Rogan. I'd absolutely love that. You know, I'd love to sit down with Joe Rogan. I'd teach him exactly what the hell crypto is and how it actually works, not the speculative shit that he's had on there. My God, some of those guests are like, it's almost pain. I have to turn it off because I can't even listen to it. It's like, it's bad. So if you're out there, Joe, and you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you were, right?
It's too early in the day.
I would love to come on. I've reached out to Jamie multiple times. I'll go on anybody's podcast. Lex Freeman is another one that I really like.
Rally driving in Austin. Okay, it's gonna be Austin now. I'm kind of down for that.
Denver. Oh, I like Denver. I'm a Boulder, Colorado guy too. I love me some Boulder, Colorado.
There's a lot of cool places we can do this stuff. We'll find one. We'll find one.
Okay.
But my attention, and I have this short of an attention span. I've been pulled in a couple different directions, and then at one point you said priorities, right? And my priority at this point is getting WordPress out. I want to get that thing rolling.
Amen, brother.
Rolling.
Let's do like 2 more questions.
All right.
That'll put us right about time.
Do I have actually anything else?
Come on, get a good question out there, guys. Something good. I'll answer anything. AMA. Doesn't even have to be about Flux. If you want to know where I got my Death Star blueprints, I'll tell you.
every meeting we do, and Dan is on the call, everybody asks about that blueprint in the back. Everybody. It's so
I need
fun.
to print out or get a little sticker on this little spot. That little I can't get there, but yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Put the Flux logo there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That would be pretty cool.
I
would prefer a tropical island as a location. I would too. Where I live, anything that's above 0 is for me tropical at this point. So,
Alex
getting it.
Alex just had a good one. Is Davey getting a tattoo when Flux reaches $5 or $10? I'll tell you what. Okay. And my son's in this chat. He'll hold me to it, right? Because he's got these crazy ass arm tattoos as well. I don't understand it, but whatever. If Flux makes it to $10, Davey and I will meet up together and we will get tattoos together. You heard it here, so remember this. Davey, you're in.
Yep.
I want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'll put one right here.
What else we got? Somebody asked about Gemini. Gemini is another one that's kind of weird. You know, like, I don't know. Do we even want to be there at this point? I mean,
let us say it this way. Any exchange can download the wallet, get it configured on their exchange, and be done with it. And if they don't want to do the wallet thing, well, we got parallel assets. So they can easily integrate it whenever they want.
Oh, I got a good question.
Ooh, you do?
Jake Muss. What would happen if someone ran something like Silk Road on Flux? Well, they'd get busted. I mean, just because it's decentralized doesn't mean it's lawless, right? And Flux is fully transparent. It is a Bitcoin fork, essentially. Yes, Zell was forked Zcash, but essentially it doesn't really matter. We came back to being a Bitcoin fork. So it's completely public. And there's projects out there like Chain Analysis and other ones that they'll know exactly what your ZEL ID and what you've been deploying on your different ZEL IDs. So make sure you're regulatory compliant within your jurisdiction. Make sure that you're not putting anything nefarious up there, because if you do, it isn't going to go to those node owners. This is the underbelly that runs the infrastructure. It's the ISPs. It's the conduit that runs these things. They are going to come for you, and rightfully so. If you're running something like Silk Road, you should be busted. I don't respect that. I think that's crazy. There's cypherpunks out there that are like, oh, if you can't run Silk Road, then it's not really Web3. It's not really decentralized. No, you still got laws, people. That's the way it is. So if you don't like it, you can head up with Elon to Mars and you can colonize Mars, and maybe they don't have laws up there, but for here, you have to understand what your regional laws are. And if you deploy something nefariously out of your ZEL ID, people will know it. And also, there is going to be a feature on the for node operators to report suspicious applications. So yeah, don't do that. Just don't do stupid shit, guys. This is why we can't have nice things. Just don't do those things, right? Good question, though. Real good question.
I saw another one coming up. Like, hey, what if somebody's doing something and it's routing? Do we have something to verify such traffic? We don't look at your traffic. We're not Google.
Yeah. No, we don't give a shit what you're doing on there, as long as you're abiding by the law on your side, because the way the way it's been in the past, if you have AWS or Google or Azure, is that maybe the DOJ decides there's an application running they don't like, right? They'll go and they'll subpoena those guys. They'll say, here's a subpoena, take this down, whatever. If they come to us and they subpoena us, I'm going to say, we can't take it down. It's on a decentralized network. There's no way to take it down. But what you can do is, if you look hard enough, you can find what the ZEL ID was that was deployed. And not only that, you can find other information out. You know what I mean? So I just wouldn't do it. I mean, it's just stupid. And you're not going to fight the law. You're going to have to make sure you obey your regulatory wherever it is that you live. All right, one more, and I think we'll wrap it up. Are we going to have Caspo and Zelcore soon? I think so. Yeah, I think that probably won't be one of the next ones you'll see come in.
I don't think we have a timeline for this, though, to be honest.
What's the timeline for the next version of Fusion and the gas? They're doing some really cool stuff with Fusion here coming up. I can't talk about a whole bunch of it. I've said it before that, I think there'll be a stable asset, the ability to move to stable assets within Fusion. As long as, the governments don't screw us over and, try to go after stable assets, I think you'll definitely see that ability. And then what the hobbyist miner is talking about is the gas station. So you don't have to have a native token in your wallet to be able to process. So if I want to send Binance Smart Chain, I don't have to have, BSC in my wallet. So it's on the radar. We haven't spec'd it out yet. It'll be down the road.
I had one more, and this ties into something you and I are working on. Then
I think there is some need to identify bad actors on the Flux network. Definitely a community-based effort. Yeah, and so you've heard me talk. Maybe you've heard me talk about Sentinel nodes before, but I am a firm believer in governing in code. So as you start to see these different AI components come out, I think you'll eventually see Sentinel nodes that will start to run on the network, incentivize people. And by the way, just like we made Cumulus nodes, Fractus nodes, you could definitely see Nimbus nodes become Sentinel nodes. And those Sentinel nodes are looking for specific, types of content or criteria. And this is developed by the community. So the community are the ones that are deploying these. This is obviously go through the XDAO. But it's looking for particular things that go across the network constantly. And if it sees something nefarious, maybe somebody got through and they deployed, a mining a bandwidth mining platform. Well, that degrades the whole network and it would just take a crap. So we can't do that. So what the Sentinel nodes will do is they'll look for specific traffic happening on that on that network, and they'll say, and by the way, this isn't unusual. This is what all the big tech companies provide. They already do it on their networks, right? So all we're doing it is making a Sentinel node that anyone can deploy. So Dan has a couple Nimbus nodes and he wants to deploy Sentinels on there. Done. And I'm incentivized with a little extra Flux because now I'm helping maintain the network. So I think you're right. Sad Akhtar.
Yeah, he's one of our mods.
Oh, yeah, duh. So yeah, you're gonna definitely.
He's the guy with the Telegram bots and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. I got it. I forgot. But yeah, I think you'll see the Sentinel nodes come online. I think you'll see the Cirrus nodes first, and then the Sentinels after that. So, and then basically they're just the whole focus is just to make sure we're monitoring network traffic. That's it, and making sure there's nothing going through there. We can do it in real time because it's deployed on the network, which is awesome. It's not controlled by anybody on the team. It's done by the community. So, if you're doing it, you're helping strengthen the network. So all good things.
Keith Betts is asking something that I see a lot as well, right? Like, please bring down the hardware requirements for Flux nodes.
Can't.
Guys, we're creating a cloud solution here. If I want to run my WordPress on your station and it has like a megabyte upload or megabit upload, how?
Look,
think about it. Like, understand what we're doing, and you'll realize that it's a hard question.
And Davey, my projections for this year is 20,000 WordPress deployments. We are in mark it down 2/11/2023. 20,000 WordPress deployments. For us to be able to do that at scale. Now, put that in perspective. If you guys go back to the State of the Union and you remember the numbers I put up there with Rackspace and Microsoft Azure and Google and all the other ones, that puts us on par with some of the biggest players out there, right? So we have to have that infrastructure. Does it suck? Yeah, but that's how it is. You got to deal with it. Like, if you want to run more nodes, you're going to have to figure out how to do it. Maybe get another IP at a batch, or maybe set up what it's called, UPnP or whatever it is.
UPnP,
yeah, UPnP, and run more than one, or you just kind of sit on your hands and wait for the Cirrus nodes to come out, and then you got 5 Flux and very little requirements. So they're all these things are options to you, but we can't give up that enterprise-based infrastructure because it would be easier for people to deploy. You just can't. Flux doesn't work like these other projects where it's bullshit. You've got to show up. You've got to build. You've got to develop. You've got to understand these things, iterate quickly, and that's just the way it goes. So I tell everybody, if you're trying, you're pissing in the wind if you think you're going to change that, because those are absolutely set in stone. And as a matter of fact, I see them going up at some point in time, right? So I think at some point we'll definitely see those start to hike up, because the more the network grows, the lower the collateral becomes, the more nodes on the network, the more resources we can grow. So it's this symbiotic relationship in scaling. So, think about that. That's how we grow this thing, guys. We need 50,000 to 65,000 nodes to be.
If we reach 20,000, I will auction this off for a charity. Right.
I think we'll have 20. My guess is we have 20,000 after the algo, or close to it, somewhere after there. So we'll see. If the market still sucks, maybe not.
Should I leak something that you don't even know?
Well, I don't know. That's dangerous. But yes, do it.
This is something that the team is working on. The test team is working on, and I'll put it in the chat.
You sent it to me?
I send it to everybody now. And I'll
what is it?
I'll share it on the screen as well. Hang on.
All right.
If you can guess what that is.
I don't know what it is. Tell me.
That is TSN's website running on Flux now.
Oh. That's nice.
So he
You got it up
exported
and running.
he exported where he was running it before and imported it now right on Flux.
I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, that I didn't know that either. So I think WordPress is slated to go to beta. I think like the 15th or 16th.
We're getting close. That's basically what I wanted to see. Like we're getting to the point where we're exporting, importing, trying all these things out to see where we can still break it. It's a demo, just a demo, but it's cool to see that we're getting to the point now where we're trying to test some of these scenarios now and making sure that that's all working proper. So yeah, 20,000 again. I'll auction this off or I'll give it away. I'll do something with it. Everybody seems to be liking that thing.
We hit 20,000. I'll give away my Titan watch. So
okay.
The other thing, Fully Electric threw a question up there I want to address. He says technically not legal for anyone in New York to buy Flux, but we can find ways around it, CoinEx, etc. I don't Fully Electric. Have you looked at Binance US? Because I'm 99% positive that you can buy in New York on Binance US. So, and I like Binance US. Those guys are really good guys. It's not like they're good.
It's a separate entity, right?
It's a separate entity. They do their own thing. So yeah, check it out because I actually use Binance US as well. I like it. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's about guys and gals. That's about it. Man, we got you guys. Whoever hung through this whole thing, you guys.
Yeah,
you guys are the real champions.
It was a different AMA. I know. I get it, guys. But I wanted to touch base with everybody.
I got one other thing I wanted to share. I will be doing a live stream with cigars and bourbon Friday night with the hobbyist miner. So, we're going to have a nice little live stream AMA question style at the cigar bar, which is cool. So it should be a lot of fun. So bring your drinks, bring your smokes. Don't smoke in the house if the wife doesn't like it, though, because my wife. It's funny, man. I come back from the cigar bar. She's like, strip down and put everything in the washing machine.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Because I reek. All right, guys. Thanks again. And thanks for joining us. And you guys rock. So, Davey, play us out.
Yeah.
JP.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a story. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flux is going on? I am fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? What the is going on? I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? I'm fluxing on them now. 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 I'm fluxing on them proud. What the flux is this? We going to the moon. Can I tell you something? Layer 1, layer 2, this is humongous. Decentralized, so we keep it 100. 10,000 nodes, yeah, we building an army. Flex on them now like it don't mean nothing. We an army and we strong. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. Come check my status. What the flux is going on? What the flux is going on? But the flux we are so strong. We an army and we strong.